Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from not the Commander's Quarters studio. Hey, I got it right this time. Welcome to the show. Again, if you haven't seen my previous episodes, I am temporarily not in the studio. I will be back in the studio soon, and yeah, you'll get to see something other than this lovely background, which isn't really a background, and that's okay. But what is okay? It's also okay. I'm not going to say it's not okay, but what is surprising is what happened yesterday, because, well, yesterday we got a ton of leaks, or was it like the end of the day before? It was like overnight or something like that. Anyways, we got a ton of leaks. If you haven't seen my episodes on those, well, some of them I actually already finished recording, but haven't finished editing, so those are going to be coming out after that. But because something else happened, surprisingly, yesterday, I am doing an episode on Archangel Elspeth, because Wizards decided, you know what? Hey, we had like this quick take, first look thing last week on Lord of the Rings cards, which come out in June. And then we've got a spoiler season coming up next week, which, is, I believe, for the Brothers War. Right, not Brothers War, sheesh. Goodness gracious. March of the Machine. I'm losing it here. And yeah, you know what? We don't have enough attention on ourselves right now. So here, during the story spotlights or whatnot, we're just going to throw in a card for no reason. And also with that card, it's kind of a strange one. So Archangel Elspeth. Yeah, apparently Elspeth is an angel now. So, sorry, spoiler alert. I probably should have said that. But I guess if you're clicking on an episode where it's got a spoiler, you probably know there's spoiler alerts in there. Anyways, legendary Planeswalker Elspeth with 4 starting loyalty, costing 2 white, +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. -2, put 2/1 counters on target creature, comes in angel to other types, and gains flying. -6, return all non-land permanents with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is, I mean, it's in my opinion, and again, I'm not a player when it comes to standard or limited. I'm sure it's great, but like when it comes to like commander, it just seems really underwhelming. Like, I mean, I think, even for standard, this seems pretty underwhelming too. Let me know in the comments if you play standard and if it is actually underwhelming, but yeah, I mean, okay. 4 is decently low for a Planeswalker, when it comes to actual cost. Starting off with 4, that's probably about right. The +1 is just okay. Sure, it's a 1/1. Yeah, I mean, it's got lifelink, but it's just a 1/1. -2. 2's quite a bit to get 2 counters on it, but it is giving it flying as well, so there's that. And also, some people point out, too, that's pretty interesting that they actually kind of went back to, like, old templating for this, where it's not putting, like, a flying counter on it. It is just giving it flying perpetually. So it's just something you kind of need to, like, keep track of, essentially, off to the side. And also being an angel, I guess, could be, with an angel tribal kind of situation that could come into play as well, potentially. And then -6, I mean, it doesn't take long to get to that, obviously. If you just, +2 twice, then you could just get to the -6. Or again, if you've got a doubling season, yeah, doubling season, go with Planeswalkers, who knew? And this comes into play, you could alt right away and still, keep Archangel Elspeth around. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent effect. Again, kind of just like a mass Sun Titan effect, essentially bringing back all of your small non-land permanents back from your graveyard to the battlefield. I guess Sun Titan doesn't care if it's land or non-land. Regardless, yeah, being able to bring back a lot of small things that can definitely be impactful for certain decks. We'll talk about some commanders here in a little bit that might want to consider this one, but it's just not, again, for how epic this scene is supposed to be, I believe, with, okay, Elspeth is now an angel. How'd that happen? No idea. Anyways, but also a Planeswalker. I think this is our first angel Planeswalker. No, I mean, Sarah, but I'm confused. Anyways, lore mages, let me know in the comments below why this is interesting, or why this is, not why it's interesting, but like how this happened, and why this is just such a unique thing apparently for Elspeth to become an angel. I don't know how angels work in Magic really all that well, except for, just how they work, mechanically. Regardless, it's an interesting one, but again, first up, we didn't really need a pre-spoiler with all the other pre-spoilers that we've had already for this set and for the other sets around it, and with spoiler season being next week, I believe either Tuesday or Wednesday already coming up, and then, again, yeah, with this just being, this giant reveal, cool, Elspeth, and it's like, nah. So yeah, not saying that there aren't commander decks out there that don't want to consider this card. There definitely are. I will bring up some commanders that definitely can consider it. Could be a good addition for those decks, but again, it's not just a generically good Planeswalker, which I guess is probably a good thing that we're not getting a ton of just generically good Planeswalkers just to keep throwing around. That can really fit in any deck, but yeah, it even in like certain specific decks, it could have an impact. but its impact isn't going to be as big as you might think, again, like a face card of a set is going to be, essentially. So, yeah, with all that said, let's jump into some commanders that might want to consider this card. The first that came to my mind, actually, is Teshar, Ancestor's Apostle. I think this one lines up really well, actually. 2/2 bird cleric with flying. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card with mana value 3 less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And that obviously counts artifacts, legendary sagas are historic. So yeah, obviously your planeswalker is legendary. So yeah, casting Elspeth will get you something back from your graveyard. Teshar decks do like to have a lot of creatures that meet that requirement, obviously with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. So yeah, Elspeth's ultimate again, which brings back all non-land permanents with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You can get back even more things with that as well. And yeah, I mean those first two again, those counters and also getting soldiers, that wouldn't hurt either. But yeah, being able to bring back, say massive amount of things at once could definitely help out with a Teshar deck. And also, unlike Teshar, you can also bring back other things outside of creatures too. So definitely keep that in mind. It's a commander that might want to consider this one. Next up, Mondrak Glory Dominus. Yeah, these Dominuses are quite powerful, quite expensive too. This one especially. 4/4, if one of our tokens we create under your control, twice the many of those tokens are created instead. And also pay 1 Phyrexian White, sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures, put an indestructible counter on Mondrak. This one pairs up really well. I mean, Mondrak pairs up really well with a lot of things because, yeah, go figure, making tokens. Many players like to make a lot of tokens, and this doubling up your tokens is a very powerful thing. And again, it's not just creature tokens, it's any kind of tokens. But still, yeah, for Elspeth's, case, it is going to double up, the soldier tokens that you are making. So yeah, basically, +1, making 2 soldiers with lifelink, much better than just making 1. And also, of course, you can utilize those soldiers right away if you need to protect Mondrak, by paying 1 and probably 4 life is probably what you would do. Sacrifice those soldiers, and then yeah, just get an indestructibility counter. So yeah, that could definitely be an avenue for that as well. And sure, yeah, that minus, to actually, give, something, flying and +1 counter. Sure, you can put that in commander. Why not? Make Mondrak, hit in the air. Sure. This scary, just absolutely terrifying Phyrexian. Oh, goodness gracious. It looks like it's already floating, though. So it doesn't have flying? Weird. Anyways, next up, Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. So Jetmir is a 5/4 cat demon. It says creatures you control get +1/0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 more creatures. Then if you've got 6 or more, additional +1/0 and trample. Then if you got 9 or more, additional +1/0 and double strike. So basically, at the end of the day, once you get to that amount, you are getting +3/+0 vigilance, trample, and double strike, which is absurd. Very, very powerful. So having token generators like this new planeswalker can definitely help out. You probably have a lot of low to the ground things as well. So having a planeswalker that can get all your things back out of your graveyard once you get up to that point can be great. And again, with vigilance for your creatures, which is a very low requirement to meet, right? Just by getting your planeswalker, out essentially, +1ing, getting a token, and having this in play, you're already at 2. So you probably have another creature out there as well. Right? Getting vigilance for your creatures can be great because you can still be aggressive and swing at your opponents while also keeping blockers back to protect again yourself and also again Archangel Elspeth. And then yeah, once you get to a certain point, you can have a massive army, obviously, again, hitting for a ton and being able to, give something essentially, 2 counters and flying perpetually. I mean, yeah, making Jetmir into a cat demon angel is kind of funny with flying. So yeah, I mean, with 7 power then, actually with 10 power, right? 2 counters, plus, +3/+0 essentially, double strike. So nearly a one-shot KO just from that. If you got any other pump effect, or if you just utilize that, ability again to give it 2 more counters, that'd be a one-shot KO. Be kind of funny to see on Jetmir again being a cat demon angel. So that's definitely one they could consider, if they go wide strategy like this one. Next up, more specifically, a soldier strategy, which we've been seeing some more commanders that are soldier-based actually. Recently with Harbin, Vanguard, Aviator, a 3/2 human soldier with flying that says whenever you attack with 5 or more soldiers, creatures control get +1 again flying until end of turn. So again, your Elspeth is actually making soldiers specifically. So yeah, soldier tribal deck is somewhere it would naturally just actually end up potentially. Being able to make more and more soldiers throughout the game is a great thing. And yeah, again, this commander allowing your creatures to just get flying inherently with this means that you can probably just focus more so on making more and more tokens, maybe utilizing that ultimate essentially to get things back. Again, a lot of soldiers are low to the ground, and then yeah, you don't really have to focus on using that -2 to give counters and also give flying because your commander inherently gives flying, on attack if you are making enough of those soldiers. So this is definitely a spot for it as well. And then we've got another commander from the exact same set, a very powerful one with Myril, Shield of Argive, 3/4. During your turn, opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. So that's a nice way to protect yourself. Then also, whenever Myral, Shield of Argive attacks, create X 1/1 color soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers you control. Yeah, doubling up your soldiers essentially every single time can be great. So of course, if you've got, again, a token generator that makes soldiers, that can be great and have a big impact with a commander like this. So this can definitely be an avenue for that as well. And this commander already can just make an absurd amount of creature tokens in absolutely no time. And again, adding another generator to that essentially is just going to help it, take it up to that next level. So yeah, Archangel Elspeth definitely might have a spot in a Myral deck. Next up, and I probably should have brought this one up maybe first, because the first one that came to my mind, it applies in a couple of ways, but we've got Atraxa Praetor's Voice, a 4/4 flying, vigilant, death touch, lifelinking creature. At the beginning of your end step, proliferate. First up, yes, this applies in a couple of ways. Not really with the +1, making a soldier creature token, but again, with that -2, getting counters out there on something. You can make Atraxa into a double angel, I guess. Getting counters on something obviously can be great for Atraxa because, again, proliferating, being able to add more counters. So essentially, if you're able to spread those counters out, that can be great. And also, in a counter strategy, maybe you've got a bunch of, low to the ground things as well that you can get back. Or on the other side of things, within Atraxa build, you might have a super friend strategy, again, all planeswalkers, not all planeswalkers, but a lot of planeswalkers, and take advantage of those things. Proliferating obviously works really well as well with getting extra loyalty counters on your planeswalkers as well, including Elspeth. So yeah, having just a lot of other, planeswalkers in your deck can be great, especially if you have a lot of low to the ground ones. Again, maybe 3 mana. I guess Tybalt's like 2, right? Might be one of the only 2s. Oh, and Ren. But yeah, very few are lower than 3, but there are quite a few at the 3 mark, especially some of those really, powerful uncommon ones. And being able to get those back out with, this brand new Planeswalker can definitely be a great thing for a Planeswalker tribal deck or Super Friends deck. You know what I mean. Moving on. Because of that, Eska got out of the tree, obviously can see this as well as a card they might want to add. Maybe not Eska. Again, I probably, should just show the other side first. Let's just go to that one right now. The Prismatic Bridge. Many players out there who play Super Friends are playing Prismatic Bridge as the commander. Eska technically is, but the backside. You know what I mean. Legendary Champion. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal a card to the top of your library to reveal a creature, planeswalker card. Put that card on the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Basically, again, with a Super Friends build, you probably have no creatures in your deck essentially. You're just hitting planeswalker after planeswalker after planeswalker off the top of your library. And again, with a Super Friends build like this one, yeah, you can utilize those tokens for blocking. You can utilize that alt to get, again, a lot of those little planeswalkers back and play, which can be just a massive play. So yeah, Prismatic Bridge is definitely another spot that I could consider this brand new card. I think that there's definitely a decent amount of decks out there that could consider this one. Again, just overall, it's just kind of confusing again for a couple of reasons. Again, why did Wizards decide to really spoil this? I don't know if they've ever actually, please let me know in the comments below, but I don't know if they've ever spoiled a card during a story spotlight, not a story spotlight, but the actual story that they send out or that they put on their website. I don't know if they ever actually spoiled a card in that. And it's just kind of strange. Again, I feel like they're trying to find every single opportunity that can to spoil something. And again, now we have a first look. Now we also have, apparently cards coming out in stories before, you've got the cards coming up, in the spoilers next week. So it's just it's kind of nonstop and it's just kind of obnoxious. And also, again, the surprising thing is this seems a bit underwhelming. Again, there are certain commanders out there that could utilize it for not very specific situations, but again, like Soldier Tribal, of course, tokens can utilize it. But yeah, it just seems kind of underwhelming for, again, probably a face card of the set, a mythic of the set. And maybe we've just been kind of spoiled lately with some, overpowered things, and maybe this is just kind of getting back to a base level. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on it. I'm just kind of thrown off by it. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on it, of course. And as always, have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.